Hello, Labradoodle lovers, and especially our families from the Confetti Sprinkles litter. This is your week 1 litter video update. And in today's video, we are going to talk all about what these week-old petite Australian Labradoodle puppies have been up to. We're going to give you an update on Mama Belle, and we're going to go through the weights of these puppies, as that's really critical for this week as to whether or not they met their first milestone. And we'll explain to you what it means if they did and if they didn't. Hi, I'm Claire from Van Isle Labradoodles, and these petite Australian Labradoodle puppies are a week old. Belle is thriving. Belle is one of the kindest and gentlest Mama Labradoodles that we have. She's also fierce. Right now she is in the Doodle Den, and in the Doodle Den is where we feed the adult dogs. And when the adult dogs come in for their meals, if they come in too quickly, Belle is right out of her box and she is barking and growling and making sure none of them are moving too fast around her puppies or getting too close to them. Now you'll see she is in a whelping box, and unlike our maternity ward, she has an X-Pen around her. So there's pluses and minuses to this. First of all, this is obviously not solid. So Belle can see everything, and the other dogs who are in here eating can also see into Belle's box. Now Belle's not too keen on that sometimes. Mostly she's fine as long as they keep their distance, which she informs them of where it's appropriate, and they learn that very fast. And also if it's dogs she knows, so it needs to be our dogs. If we have one of our guardian dogs staying with us for some reason, then what we do is we feed them in a different area so as not to cause her any upset. We also have a little board we can put right here in the whelping pen in this opening area, and that effectively blocks Belle's vision. And when Belle can't see out, she can't see that anyone can see in, and that makes her feel safe. So if for any reason we have to have extra activity or other dogs milling about in here, which hasn't happened, but just in case it did, we can always put that barrier in and give her that feeling of security. So she's doing really well. She's eating very nicely. I'm so pleased to say that she's eating entirely on her own. Well, maybe now and then she likes to have a little bit of hand feeding done, but basically I can put her meals in her room for her and she eats them all up on her own. And she's eating about 5 times what she would normally. She's eating 3 times a day, and each of those meals is about 1.5 to 2 times what she would normally eat. And normally she would only eat twice a day. So I guess that actually works out to more than 5 times. Now, when you're feeding a Mama Labradoodle, lots of people get confused, and many Labradoodle breeders start giving their mama dogs extra different, richer foods in order to keep the milk supply plentiful. That actually doesn't benefit the mom or the puppies. You don't want to be giving her a lot of extra different rich foods. You want to stick to the same diet. Make sure she has some extra calcium in there in the way of raw bones. So Belle has 2 raw chicken necks and 1 raw chicken foot each day. That gives her an extra boost of calcium. Those bones all naturally have all the other micronutrients and minerals needed for the calcium to be absorbed. And not only do we want the calcium absorbed in her body, we need it to be supported by excellent nutrition and proper components of that nutrition for the calcium to be bioavailable to her. So that involves making sure that she has a larger quantity of the regular food that she eats, and being sure that the food that she normally eats is all really well balanced, complete, wholesome nutrition. So Belle's eating all proteins. She's eating pork, lamb, beef, chicken, turkey, wild boar, and she's having some fresh green tripe added to her meals. And then she also has some venison broth and some bison broth added to her meals as well. She's not too keen on eating the freeze-dried food right now. She just wants frozen raw. And whenever we have a mum, we do whatever the mum wants, not what we would normally do to rotate between freeze-dried and frozen. We are rotating between all the brands though. So she's eating some RDBK, which is Red Dog Blue Cat, their deli dinners, and she's eating some Big Country Raw, their dinners and their blends. She has some superfoods, which is a vegetable blend, and then she's also eating some Just Raw, which is a whole protein without vegetables. And then we are giving her a multivitamin supplement as well, just to make, oh, and of course a probiotic, just to make sure that everything is there, accounted for, and she has the best options that we can give her. So that's what we do to keep the milk supply going, keep Belle in good shape. You can see she's got a beautiful, soft, shiny coat. There's no loss of hair. She's not skinny. She's actually at an absolutely perfect weight. She has a okay supply of milk. I am probably going to start putting a bit of fenugreek into her food just to boost it a bit, because it's a little light in that her top mammary glands here really don't have too much to offer, and they run out of milk. Like right now, oh yeah, there's still some in there. We'll see if Miss Red Collar Girl is interested in that one. Of course, the puppies are preferring the back ones, because that's where the plentiful supply is. It's a lot less effort to get milk out of the back ones than it is out of the front ones. So you'll see how they're all clustered there around the back, even though they're not all nursing. And Black Collar Girl isn't even on anything there. She thinks she is, but she's not. She's probably full and just kind of mouthing for comfort right now. And so for the puppies, what have they been doing? Well, this is what they've been doing: eating, sleeping, eating, sleeping. That is the whole job for a puppy for the first few weeks, is just to eat, sleep, and repeat. We want them completely focused on growing and getting stronger and building that foundation for the future. And Belle is the one who looks after all their needs. So they can't go to the bathroom on their own yet. So Belle stimulates them all to go. She consumes it all. That way there's no odor left. It's really nice. There's no puppy smell whatsoever. She washes them, she keeps them clean, and of course she provides them with all of their nutrition. She also provides a natural heating pad for them by allowing them all to cuddle up with her. This blanket is here not to keep anybody warm, but because Belle likes to dig. She wants to hide her puppies. She likes them to be covered. So rather than her digging up the floor that's on the box here, because you can see when you take this up underneath, it's a very smooth, slippery plastic surface, and it's that way intentionally so it's easy to keep clean. But that's not what we want the puppies on, and not because it's cold, because it's very warm in the room here, but because they will slip, and when their little joints are slipping, that is a strain on them, and we don't want that to be happening. So instead we give her this blanket. She can dig around and root around with it, and she can cover them up with it. Lots of times we'll come in, the blanket will be like this, and you'll think, oh, there's no puppies anymore. And you see how she has her head over it like that? She loves to do that, almost like she's holding the blanket in place so nobody can see her little babies. So that's why that's there. It's a stage that all moms go through. It doesn't last too long. Some of them do it more than others. Belle doesn't do it very often, but we just make sure she has what she needs there to be comfortable with whatever stage of the maternity process she's in. So now, the milestone we're going to discover this week is whether the puppies have doubled their birth weight or not. Now, why does this matter? Well, we like them to be strong, fully developed, and have everything in place as that really good foundation. Now, is it critical they do it in the first week? Absolutely not. As long as it's within the first 10 to 14 days, we're happy. If they make it in the first week, yay, that's a bonus. If it takes them till day 14, totally fine. If they hadn't doubled their birth weight by day 14, then we would be concerned. Then we would start to be looking and having the puppy examined by our vet to see if there was something else going on. Some puppies just don't eat as much as the others. Some of them are not as aggressive at the milk bar. Some of them are lazy. It's not really lazy, but that's what I call it, because they just fall asleep. They don't stay awake long enough to eat as much as they should. And like I said, with a milk bar like Belle's, when you don't have a lot of easy milk available at the top, lots of times the puppies just go, it's not worth it. I've had enough. I'm not starving. My tummy isn't growling, so I'm just going to go to sleep. Those are the puppies normally that we see that might not double their birth weight in the first few days. Now, sometimes we have puppies who double their birth weight in 5 days. In Orca's litter, we had many puppies who had doubled their birth weight in the first 5 days. Orca happens to have an enormously plentiful milk bar. If you look back at our playlists for when Misha is the mom, same thing. Misha also had a very plentiful milk bar. So it just depends on the mom. But it's quality, not quantity, that matters, and slow and steady wins the race. So there's nothing to be concerned about if they don't happen to meet their milestones right on the early target date. This is an advanced target date. So now the other thing that we're going to talk about today very briefly is for our lucky families on this list, and that's starting to get ready to welcome your puppy. Your video this week, you'll get later in the week, is going to be all about how to set your home up, things to take into consideration for getting ready to welcome that puppy into your home. Decisions such as what door should your puppy use to go to the bathroom. Is there going to be areas in your house you have to block off that you don't want your puppy to be in? Now, almost all of you, I believe, have a puppy starter kit. So you're going to want to start to think about where you're going to set your X-Pan up, how you're going to situate the bed for your puppy, things like this. If you have kids, this is when you're going to start wanting to talk to them and having them remember to close their doors. If you're a grown-up, you're going to want to start looking at where are all your cables and cords for your television, your computer. If you have any hobbies that require a lot of cords, I quilt. I have cords all over the place because I have multiple machines. I also have needles and pins that sometimes fall on the floor. So my quilting area is always secured by an X-Pen so puppies can't get into it. I don't even like my adult dogs being in there. A couple of times I've had things under the needle in my sewing machine. I've walked away to do something, and one of the adult dogs has come and stepped on the foot pedal and started sewing. So things like that, you can be sure if you leave something and you're sure it's fine, that's what they're going to get into trouble with. Remote controls and cell phones and tablets, those things are hugely popular for puppies to chew on. So those are all the types of things you have to take a look at. Figure out how you can keep an area safe from your puppy. Now, if you've got your puppy starter kit and you want to add an extra X-Pen to protect your areas, and don't forget these things come apart, so you can use just one panel or 2 panels if you have a small area. But if you want an extra one, just let us know. We'll be happy to add that to your puppy starter kit for you. And the other thing, the fun thing, time to start thinking about a name. So when you're thinking about a name, we always suggest that you find something with 2 syllables. It's really easier to call your dog with 2 syllables. Something like Peanut, it's Peanut. Whereas with Belle, it's a little harder because it's just Belle. You can't do the sort of more sing-song. It's great when you can do the 2 syllables to get that name calling for them. It catches their attention a bit better. It's also really good if you have a good name that you can shorten and make a nickname out of. So for Belle, our nicknames for her are all longer. So like I call her Bellissima, I call her Mes Très Belle Chienne because I make her French, because Belle is French. And Bella Bobella, all sorts of things. So her name gets made longer rather than shorter. And then try to think of something unique. So when you call your dog, 10 other dogs don't come. So something like Lucy, Gracie, Bailey, Finn, all of those names are extraordinarily popular. They're all great names. It's just, it's not unique, and you will get a lot of dogs replying to when you call your dog. And the other thing is it makes it harder for your dog to learn their name. It's confusing, especially when you go to puppy class and there's 4 or 5 dogs that are all Spot. It's really hard for your dog to distinguish that that means them and just them. So things to keep in mind, but you'll get a video about how to set your house up. And now let's do the fun part. Let's meet all the puppies and let's see what we're at in terms of their weight gain. So they are 1 week old today, and we're going to do the puppies in birth order, as we will do for every one of our videos. So Blue Collar Boy is the firstborn in this litter, and he's this pretty dark red caramel boy. He is just a really handsome fellow, really pretty color. He's got the little tiny speck of white on the top of his head there. And Mr. Blue today is 444 grams, and he has doubled his birth weight. Next we have Pink Collar Girl. And Pink Collar Girl is the first of the parties in this litter. Now Belle is what we call an extreme party. She is a party because she has this little smidge of color here on her ears, but everything else is white. So she is 2 colors, but she's mostly white, so that's what we call an extreme party. Now Miss Pink Collar Girl here, she definitely has more color than her mom does, because you can see she's got lots and lots of color on her face, and she also has color down her back there. My favorite feature is this adorable half stash that she's got going on here. I'm just a real sucker for when they have color on one side of their nose and not the other. Miss Pink is 363 grams today, and she hasn't doubled her birth weight. She's getting there, but she hasn't quite done it yet. But you can tell when you look at her, she's still got a nice full tummy. She's not hugely plump and round like we see some puppies. She's a small girl, but she's proportionate. There's absolutely no reason for any concern over the fact that she didn't double her birth weight. And now she has some extra color here because I kissed her and she got a little bit of lip gloss on her. So just take that off. And just as an aside, all the products that I use on my face are all natural and organic. So if the puppies do lick my face or do get anything on them from my face, it isn't going to harm them. Then we have Red Collar Girl. She's over here chomping away. Come here, baby girl. Sorry to disturb you. Ooh, and you got the prime spot too. I think you're gonna lose it to your sister. Oh my goodness, that suction's strong. She too is a red caramel. Cute little white toes there, white on the chest. And she's got a really pretty lighter blonde caramel color, especially around her face. And Red Collar Girl is 372 grams, and she has doubled her birth weight. And oh no, she lost out to Pink Collar Girl. But since Pink Collar Girl hasn't got the weight that she needs and you do, let's put you over on one of these ones that's a little bit more work. See if you can get going on there. Show us how hungry you really are. After Pink, we've got Green Collar Boy here. Green Collar Boy is also an extreme party, and he's very similar to his sister Pink. He's got these pretty markings down his back. These are just getting darker and darker every week. He's got the marks on his ears, on the top of his head, and then he has the pretty face here. He's got caramel that's coming off the side of his right eye, and then his left eye is a white eye. He'll probably have white eyelashes, which are really pretty and really cute. And Mr. Green is 338 grams. He is the smallest puppy in the litter, and he has not doubled his birth weight yet. But again, if you take a look at him, he's a tiny fellow, but he's nice and proportionate. He's nice and full, no concerns. I can't feel his ribs. He's not skinny or anything. If he stays small like this, this will be a great option for anybody who's looking to travel in the cabin with a puppy, because he'll be a tiny petite fellow. And then last but not least, we have our Black Collar Girl, our last of the extreme parties. And she is getting more color as we go along. So she has some color here on the side that we couldn't see even last week. And she has a little bit here, 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 and here. So she's got quite a few places where she does have color coming in that wasn't visible when she was born, and that's what happens with these extremes. You don't see it initially, it just gets darker and darker. Both of her ears are dark, which is so cute, and then this little tiny little diamond up on the top of her head, and then she has the caramel over her left eye, and right eye really doesn't have color. So I just love that when they have color and then not color. And Miss Black is the biggest puppy in the litter at 456 grams. And you can see she's a little bit bigger and a little bit more filled in through this area than the puppies who didn't get that doubling their birth weight. So that's all the puppies, and that's our video for today. We hope you've enjoyed it. We'd love to read your comments and have a chat with you on YouTube about this video. Any questions that you have, and it's not just limited to Australian Labradoodles. Go ahead and ask about any breed. If you want to learn more about raw food feeding for dogs, anything like that, we're always happy to chat with you. And we really appreciate it when you do take the time to comment, and we hope you also hit that icon, the little bell icon, so you get notified of all our new videos. We hope to see you again next week for our week 2 update. Maybe we'll get some eyes that have opened up, and we'll see how everyone's doing in the weight department. Thanks so much for watching.